store does more than my HEB.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 loan in the valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
Help our local businesses grow, creating more jobs
And more opportunities for all of us.
work together.
Together, we do what the little banks can and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's Bank.
Toro fans, save some room in your appetite because when our Golden Week's free saves, everyone gains a free Jumbo Jack from Jack in the Box. Offer valid tomorrow with any team purchase. Be sure to show your ticket stubs for your prize. Welcome to HB Park, the home of your RGB sport. For your own protection and the safety of fellow fans and the players, in the spirit of good sportsmanship, United Soccer, the RGBFC Toros, and HB Park of the West are high spurs and throwing any objects at you. Such behavior can have serious injury and violators will be subject to ejection from the premises, fine, and release. We also remind you that any spectators can come to the field unaccompanied by staff member or interpreter day of any night and subject to ejection from the premises, fine, and release. Ladies and gentlemen, a reminder that the use of video cameras is prohibited inside the HB Park. Please notice the exit signs in case of an emergency. Exit through the nearest marked emergency exit. When using the stairs, or use them. If you notice something suspicious or out of place, please notify a member of our staff. Remember, if you see something, say something. We thank you for your cooperation and hope you enjoy today's game. Let's meet our opponents, the starting 11 for Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Sean Melville, Matt Mahoney, Michael Edwards, Jordan Burt, Ronnie Argueta, Andre Lewis, Mishi Galina, Thomas Amand, Haji Berry, Deshane Beckford, and Jose Torres. Colorado Springs Switchbacks are coached by Brandon Burke. Ladies and gentlemen, please stand and place your right hand over your heart for the singing of our national anthem.
And good evening and welcome to Edinburgh. We're at the southern tip of Texas to bring you exciting USL Championship soccer. Tonight's game features division rivals in the thick of the playoff chase, Rio Grande Valley Toros and Colorado Springs Switchbacks. Good to have you with us. I'm Mark May with Brian Smith coming to you from beautiful HEB Park here on ESPN Plus. And Brian, who are our players to watch here tonight?
Taking a look at our players to watch, presented to you by Puma for the Switchbacks. Who else? Haje Berry, leader of scoring across the USL, 16 goals. He is a dynamic scorer and somebody that, well, teams in the USL have just really struggled to even keep in front of, as he scores at such a blistering rate. On the other side, take a look at Juan Carlos Azocar for the Toros. He is the engine that makes this offense go. 6 goals on the season, including 1 in the Toros' last performance. He has scored 4 times in the Toros' last 6 games, and he just seems to have a nose for getting the ball in the right spot and making spectacular things happen for the Toros on offense. Let's take a look at our starting lineups in this one, presented by Reliant Energy. For the Switchbacks, they'll go like this: Melvin in goal, then 3 defenders, Mahoney, Edwards, and Burke. 3 midfielders, Torres, Aguida, and Lewis. Then they'll have the 4 forwards, Galena, Among, Berry, and Beckford. On the flip side, looking at the host, Rio Grande Valley Toros. In goal is going to be Colin Miller, his 3rd start for the Toros. Then they'll go with 3 defensemen, Manley, Pimentel, and Riley. A slew of midfielders in this one for the Toros: Sorto, Murphy, Lopez, Kuzain, and Cuero. And then they'll have the 2 forwards, Elvis Amo and Juan Carlos Azocar. Here are your keys to the game. These presented by Amax Auto Insurance. For the Switchbacks, it's about that press and go. Head coach Brendan Burke said one of the things they're going to have to do against this very experienced Rio Grande Valley Toros team is to be able to trap the ball, especially in the first third, and then apply that pressure and go, go, go. They cannot allow the Toros to pick them apart, which is what the Toros tend to excel at. On the flip side, for the Toros, they've got to remain aggressive on striking. If there's one thing that's kind of hurt them over the last couple of games, they've been a little too unselfish, trying to make passes in the box, trying to move the ball into better spots. When they get a good look, they're going to have to take it, because this is a Switchbacks team that gives up goals and scores a ton of goals.
It should be a very entertaining game. We've got the high-scoring Switchbacks, the Toros, who can certainly score themselves, had 14 shots in their last game against San Antonio, but only 1 goal to show for it. They'll probably need more tonight if they're going to win here at HEB Park. Let's take a break. We'll be back with our opening kickoff in just a moment. You're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
DHR Health is now safer than ever and continues to remain focused on one thing: providing exceptional care to our patients and community. No other hospital is trying harder to keep you safe. We're taking every action to ensure your safety with enhanced precautions, including 3 off-site COVID-19 units. Your health should never wait. Don't delay your health care. There is no reason to. Schedule your appointment today. DHR Health. For you, for life.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow,
creating more jobs
and more opportunities for all of us.
working together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
Today at Whataburger, we're cooking the Buffalo Ranch chicken strip sandwich. We got 3 chicken strips topped with Whataburger's own buffalo sauce, a little bit of buttermilk ranch, 2 slices of Monterey Jack cheese. The combination is just right.
It's crunchy and then it's spicy and then it's cool. Your mouth is exploding with flavor.
It just all works together, and then you add the cheese in there.
It kind of wakes me up, honestly.
My goodness.
I could see myself getting this every time I come here.
They're gonna go crazy for this thing. The Buffalo Ranch chicken strip sandwich. That's back, and it's only for a limited time.
And we're back here at HEB Park. You can see the officials and the players lined up right there, getting ready for the opening kickoff. It's the Toros there on your left, wearing the white jerseys tonight with the blue shorts, the orange numerals, and then on the right side, you can see the goalkeeper there, Melvin, for Colorado Springs, but most of their players will be wearing the blue and black here tonight. Juan Torres is going to be their captain. Torres, a Mexican League veteran too, played with Pachuca, Tigres, and Puebla in his careers, won a couple of titles down there. So a lot of experience in both these teams. And there we see the officials tonight, and the four-man crew consists of referee Michael Radchuk and the assistant referees Chris Canales and Austin Holt. Fourth official will be Jacobo Zuniga. And so should be a pretty good game here tonight. And now let's take a look at our injury report.
A couple of injuries to look out for the Toros. Aitor Lopez and Adrian Despe will be out on this one. Elvis Amo actually made the start for the Toros to open this one. On the other side for the Switchbacks, a couple late injuries added to the list, as they're going to be without Serna, Hunley, Burt, Zandy, and Makalinga, all of which have last-minute injuries coming into the start of this one, thanks to McAllen Emergency Room for helping us with that injury report.
And when the Toros play in white, they have not done as well. 2 wins, 2 losses, and 4 draws this year. But I think they chose to wear the white because it is a pretty hot and humid out there this evening, isn't it?
Just to put it kindly, scorcher down here in Edinburgh. 98 degrees at kickoff, heat index of 104. Ooh. Add to that they water this field very well. So the humidity down there on the top of the pitch is going to be peak this evening.
You'll see a little bit of steam coming off the surface, I'm sure. In terms of how these teams have played recently, the Toros have 11 points in their last 7 games, 3 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, but they've dropped 2 of their last 3. And then the Switchbacks have picked up 8 points in their last 5 outings, 2 wins, a loss with 2 draws. They're unbeaten in their last 2 straight. And in terms of the standings, we've got a little bit at stake here tonight because the Toros come in at second in the Mountain Division, 3 points ahead of Colorado Springs. So Colorado Springs, with a win tonight, could actually overtake the Toros either on goal difference or on total goals scored. So we'll keep an eye out on that for tonight. And of course, that impacts the playoff pairings and so on. We'll talk a little bit about that as the game goes on. We're underway here at HEB Park in Edinburgh, Texas, 1,100 miles to the southeast of Colorado Springs. Colorado Springs in the dark uniforms and the Toros in the light colors. And we're just underway. And, Haji Berry, I was looking at his numbers, Brian, 16 goals in 17 games, just an absolutely insane pace. And he scores anywhere and at any time. I looked up his earliest goal, came in the 2nd minute this year. In fact, he's got 3 goals in the first 15 minutes of games this year. And he scored as late as the 92nd minute. So, yeah, this guy could strike at any time.
Yeah, video game kind of numbers from Haji Berry. And I think the thing that really stands out to fans of the USL when you look at Haji Berry is he's not somebody that you can just kind of press and step back on. You get physical with him. He gets physical right back. He's the type of player that will play through everything, and that just makes him even more interesting to watch as the game continues.
Yeah, he's wearing number 10 out there, 5'11", 160. Not huge size, but you're right, a very physical player. Here's Colorado Springs. Oh, nice little back heel there. And then what might have been a foul, but they may have ruled that they play the advantage here. And a shot by Andre Lewis is just wide and forces Colin Miller to dive right off the bat here. Just 90 seconds in, we're seeing how dangerous this Colorado Springs team is.
And not afraid to shoot. We've already seen it now where a little more than a minute and a half into this one, they've already been able to press the ball toward the box 3 different times against the Toros. They are not afraid to get out there and run and use their advantage with that speed and the aggression to put themselves in some pretty good spots.
And the player shaken up there was Mishi Galina, a midfielder. He was the one that appeared to be fouled from behind, the referee allowing the play to continue to the Colorado Springs advantage. You see Galina there. And Galina, he's quite a scoring force himself, isn't he?
Yeah, there's a number of players on this Switchbacks team that can do it. And Galina, he's got 5 goals and 7 assists to his credit. So that's quite a 1-2 punch with Galina and Berry out there 1-2 side by side, just looking to pick these defenses apart.
And in fact, he is tied for the league lead with his 7 assists, setting up Berry on a number of occasions. As the ball goes out here, this will be a Toros throw in. So we saw that shot a moment ago by Andre Lewis. That's a name he's really come into his own lately as well, scoring 2 goals in his last outing. In fact, he made the USL Team of the Week, which will unveil in its totality at halftime. Lewis out of Jamaica. couple of Jamaicans on this team, along with a former Toro in Deshane Beckford. Toro's trying to work things here now. It's a little reverse action there by Jose Torres, wearing the captain's armband tonight. Now an attack down the left side. Barry with the one touch, trying to get it back to Galena, who was charging forward, but the Toro is able to intercept that. Asokada with it, then Pimentel will boom it up to midfield. I don't think he quite got what he wanted on that, and then the ball goes out off of Colorado Springs, and Toros will have the throw in here. Tell us a little bit more about what the coach Brendan Burke was talking about in terms of, it's kind of like a full court press they want to do here tonight, isn't it?
It's exactly what it sounded like. So one of the things he talked about at length this week, if they were going to be successful against the Toros, they were going to have to keep the ball away from those experienced feet of the Toros. And so one of the things he talked about doing was in the front half of the pitch, that being their defensive third. The only thing they can do that he said would be ultimately successful would be to apply that pressure immediately, kind of pinch the Toros with that press, take that ball away, and then go the other direction. He said the more time you left that ball with those experienced players for the Toros and allowed them to technically pick you apart, the more better opportunity the Toros were going to have to get some good looks and potentially pick up some big goals.
We saw there Christian Sorto upended and drawing the foul. This will be another free kick here for the Toros. Early on, Sorto with 3 goals to his credit, tied for third on the team. Sorto, who played at Duke University, former Blue Devil. There's Colorado Springs now. Regained possession. They're back on the attack. There's Deshane Beckford, the former Toro, played within the last 2 years. Has it kicked away from him, and now Sorto has it with plenty of space to work with. He'll fire it down the line looking for Amo. Amo's played his first game. He's missed quite a few games. Hasn't played since June. Nice move here. Clips it up in the air and I think has won a corner kick for his club.
That's just a spectacular move for Amo coming down. That was a great pass by Sorto to drop it into that soft spot in the corner. What does Amo do? Uses his length and his speed to press that all the way to the edge and then force Burt to come over for the switchbacks and push that one out.
So a corner kick here. This will be Rodrigo Lopez taking the corner. He usually takes most of the corners for the Toros team. This will be short, put into Juan Cuzain, and the Toros will push it up a little bit. Murphy's going to lob it into the area. A hitter on net, knocked away, still loose. Toros with another shot blocked in front by Colorado Springs. Toros still on the attack here as they regain. And a long pass, I think, intended for Sorto, but Sorto had pulled up. And this will be a goal kick for Colorado Springs. But the Toros there with a dangerous opportunity.
A couple of really good opportunities, and that starts with a beautiful pass by James Murphy. Gets it in there to Pimentel. And anytime that ball is bouncing around in front of the box, anything can happen. You saw Manley collapsed on it, was almost able to get a head on it. That's a really good look for the Toros.
It was a good move by Sean Melvin. He was able to get a hand on it and kind of punch it away as Manley, as you described, was charging in there trying to get a header right there in front of the net. So Melvin coming up big there, the Canadian goalkeeper for this Colorado Springs club. Now a free kick won by the Switchbacks.
We get a couple whistles. It looks like the referee wanted that restart to come much further down than the Switchbacks were intending to.
I always thought it was like golf, that you could move the ball further back if you want, but you can't move it closer from where the foul occurred.
Got 2 whistles right there, making sure they put it exactly where he wanted to get it started from.
So this will be Jose Torres, just 5'5", 135 pounds, 33 years old, out of Longview, Texas, but spent most of his career in Mexico. Played on 4 different Mexican League champions. Curls this in to Miller. Miller there to pick it up for the Toros. Miller will quickly put it back into play. But it goes right back to the Switchbacks. And you see with the long pass there, they quickly have it in the danger zone again in the attacking third. And this goes to Beckford. Beckford with a shot blocked in front. Nice play there by the Toros, Edwin Quero, to block that one as Beckford was really lining that one up and from about 23 yards distance. Could have done some damage, but this will be a corner.
That's a great move by Cueto, not only to get in the way of that kick, but doing a nice job of turning his back and making himself as wide as he could. And that's where he gets the deflection. You can have the habit sometimes of pulling those arms in and trying to get real tight and small, but no, he stood tall, gave himself a nice big target.
And this will go into Burt, the defender, who gets a header on it for the Switchbacks. Now it's knocked out of the area, and Lopez on top of it for the Toros. Play it back to Pimentel. Pimentel has a lot of experience in the Mexican League, just like Torres for the Switchbacks. This makes it all the way back to Melvin in the Switchbacks goal. Melvin came in with 31 saves made this season. It's a tough job to be a goalkeeper for a team like the Switchbacks. They're a team that favors the offense, puts most of their resources toward offense. One of the league leaders in scoring, but near the bottom in terms of defense.
Yeah, they're more focused on getting players back, getting those sheer numbers into a position to score. And it's worked fairly well for them. If you've seen, they're in a good position to make a playoff push. The United Soccer League, all 31 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com.
So Andre Lewis brings it up for the Switchbacks. Slide it over to the left. Now gets a return pass. Lewis, the Jamaican, looking for an open man. Finally find his teammate, Ronnie Arguita. Now makes its way to Barry. Barry will send it into the area. Miller out there and gets there first. Just barely ahead of the charging Thomas Among, the forward from Cameroon. Miller with a good heads-up play here.
Look at Miller coming out and then sacrificing his body to get in there and make sure he gets to the ball first. Give some credit to Among as well. That's a really nice job of continuing to play through the ball. When you see the keeper come out, you can have a tendency sometimes to pull up and allow them to get there first, but he stayed on his horse and rode it all the way to the very end, just in case Miller didn't make it.
Yeah, or if Miller gives up a rebound. A good play by him and a great pass by Barry with the through ball to set him up. Barry, not just a goal poacher, but can set up his teammates as well. Came in with 3 assists this year. Lewis appeared to win the ball for the Switchbacks, but there's a foul. And this is going to be a free kick for the Toros. It was Lopez who drew the foul.
We're getting a look right here as Lopez comes down on it. Yeah, he gets a little bit of Lopez's knee. I think like Lewis, as he came down, he ends up putting those cleats just right there on the edge of Lopez's foot.
So this will be a free kick in a promising position for the Toros here in the 11th minute. Lopez leads the team, the Toros, in the chances created. He's also among the league leaders. He's in the top 10 in that category. He's going to slide it over to Kazane. Kazane will run toward goal. Murphy will send it into the net. Melvin stays on his line, has to punch that one. And Switchbacks able to clear that up. Murphy with the header. And then Torres sends it forward for Colorado Springs. Both teams putting some pressure on the opposing goal. Lopez sends a deep ball. This goes to Sorto, one-on-one here. Sorto with 3 goals, has his shot stuffed by Torres. Arguiata actually had that stuff, and Colorado Springs back on the move now. Lewis trying to get turned. Kuzane on top of him. We haven't seen Kuzane much lately. When Kuzane out of Illinois, hadn't played in the last 3 games, but drew the start here tonight. There's a ball into the area. Miller out there to intercept that one. They had the charging Among. Second time Among has drawn clear and moved in on goal, and both times Miller able to beat him to the punch just barely.
And you see there's a lot of contact there between Miller and Among, and you may say, well, I mean, what's Among doing? But if you take a look right there, Among wasn't even looking at Miller. He was looking behind, trailing that ball through the air. So when the contact comes, they're literally right on top of each other because Among was right on top of the ball as it carries Miller, trying to make the argument, I mean, come on, protect me. And ultimately he'll get the call there. Yellow card comes out because Miller was actually scratched there by the cleat of Among because Among had his foot up trying to make a play on that ball right as he's coming into contact with Miller.
It looks like what it'll be. We'll see it again here. And like you said, the foot coming up, trying to get a touch on the ball. It does run into the keeper, and Miller was showing the referee. He says, here's the evidence on my arm here.
I don't necessarily fault Among. I mean, having his foot up is probably not a wise decision in that moment, but it's not as if he was headhunting on Miller there. He had his eyes clearly locked on that ball, and he was carrying it all the way through the air. And that's really what you want from an aggressive offensive player, somebody that's always got their eye on the ball and is playing all the way to the point of contact to ensure they're in that play.
Another opportunity here for the Switchbacks into the area. Shot blocked in front. That's Pimentel who got the block and able to prevent conceding a corner by sending it out of play. Over to the right. Terrific defending there by Pimentel.
It looks like we had a flag here on the low end. I think they're going to say offside.
I see the official holding his hand up. Yeah, you're right. Offside call. They had kind of 3 players breaking into the area right there on that last attack by the Switchbacks. Team that's very good at being able to create opportunities throughout the game. See, Miller, by the way, earned some props this week. He was voted by the fans, getting the USL Save of the Week. It's for a save he made against Real Monarchs. That was on the road when he came in for the injured Tyler Derrick late in the first half and played the rest of the game and preserved a shutout. And one of his terrific saves he made on a point-blank header led to the Save of the Week honors for Miller as we take another look at that last injury. That's Galena again, second time he's gone down hard.
I think he got wrapped up there with Elvis Amo as Amo was coming forward to apply a little bit of pressure.
Beckford with it for the Switchbacks. Will center the ball to Barry. He has to kick it back in order to keep the possession alive. Arguita will slide over to the right side to Burt, and now forward to Beckford. Beckford trying to get around the defender, is able to. A second one got around Murphy there. And now it's upfield. And the Toros win themselves a free kick. It's going to be the 5th whistle against the Switchbacks.
You see Coach Berger a little bit upset there. He thinks that there should be a call made here against Amo, as Amo, with that last little bit move, takes the legs right out from under Burt. However, they're going to call a foul against the Switchbacks long before that contact even came.
You can see there on the replay, they grabbed Amo's jersey from behind. And that was what led to the foul call. Toros sent it all the way to the other end of the field. And the Switchbacks will start their possession once again. Matt Mahoney out of Buffalo, New York. The defender will pass it up to Deshane Beckford. Beckford out of Jamaica. Now Barry will lob it to the left side. It's Galena there. Galena centers it for Lewis. Lewis unable to turn. Galena will send it into the area. It's headed out there by Kettle. Arguiata with control for the Switchbacks. Now they'll center this one. Torres, so a nice little dummy there to Barry. And Barry will pass it to the right to Beckford. Beckford with a man right on him. And Beckford unable to center the ball. Terrific defending there by Gettle. Goes to Barry now in the area. Barry knocked down. And this might be a penalty kick. I think it is. The referee pointing to the center spot. And Barry has drawn a penalty.
I think that's going to go against Juan Cousin. In fact, it will. I didn't see the contact there. See, Cousin put his hands up immediately and says, I didn't really make contact with him. Cousin came in for the sliding tackle and looked like Barry tripped up 2 or 3 steps after getting past Cousin. But either way, they're going to give this one to Beckford, and Beckford's going to take the penalty kick.
That's interesting because Barry has 5 penalty kicks this season, including 2 in the last 2 games. But they'll go to the former Toro to see if he can score against his old club. And this will be the 2nd straight game that Miller in the Toros goal has faced a penalty kick.
See Miller having quite a conversation with the referee prior to this kick.
Lopez also arguing the case. Lopez wearing the captain's armband for Rio Grande Valley tonight. It'll be Beckford to take the penalty kick. Making a leisurely approach, shoots, and saved by Miller! Miller dived to his left side, dives low, and squelches that attempt by Beckford.
I don't think Colin Miller could have read that much better. Taking another look right here, Beckford comes up soft, drags that 1 foot, and then tries to drive. Colin Miller read that the whole way. He says, no, sir, no, sir. Perfect jump, perfect spot, perfect lay, and he just corrals that in. High fives and handshakes abound. That was a spectacular read from the goalie.
Yeah, and we saw in the penalty kick against San Antonio, which was last Sunday, Miller nearly saved a penalty there against Nathan, the San Antonio top scorer.
He read that one really well, too. It was just that Nathan had kicked it so hard he couldn't corral it. It careened off of his hands into the net. Miller read that one so well, no need to worry about a careen. He took that one right to the chest and was able just to collapse around it.
Yeah, Miller's gotten a piece of both penalties that he's faced. And keeps the score knotted 0-0 right now in the 20th minute. And Beckford came in with 3 goals this year, so it's not like he can certainly put it on frame. Maybe not enough velocity and not quite enough got it over to the corner as much as he might have liked. Now Juan Kuzain, who committed the foul a moment ago that led to the penalty, now draws one here, and it's a dangerous position here for the Toros.
And this is a spot we've seen the Toros be very, very adept at. You see, you got Azocar and Lopez standing over it. Kuzain takes a couple steps away. This is a spot where we've seen the Toros make some really nice moves. They can take it as a strong kick right here from Lopez, but what we've seen throughout the season, I would watch for a real shallow kind of cross to the right-hand side now. Elvis almost in a good spot. James Murphy could step up. Look for a gentle little direct pass to put them in a good spot, and for a second touch to be the one they drive toward the net.
Switchbacks look like the 4, now 5 in their wall. It's from about 24 yards out. You've got Azocar and Lopez both standing over the ball. Azocar, the Toros' leading scorer. Lopez has a couple of goals this season as well. He's an excellent free kick artist. Melvin toward the left side of his goal. And a scoring opportunity here for the Toros. See what they do here. It's Azocar runs over it. Lopez will take it toward the net, and a save made by Melvin. Diving save by Melvin, comes up big there and keeps it 0-0.
Excellent design play right here. Azocar draws attention to the right as he moves, and Lopez puts that right in a good spot. Give Melvin credit, though. He timed that out very well. Was able to be right there to push it away. Sorto was in place to try to get a good rebound.
And we see on the corner kick, Melvin is able to get control of this one, and Colorado Springs will start off their attack quickly. You see Riley crashing into one of the Colorado players. There's going to be a yellow card on Riley.
And rightfully so. Riley trying to play the ball. Unfortunately for him, that was a spectacular job by Barry when he gets that, pushing that forward. And so as Riley tries to come down, he ends up playing, correction, that wasn't Barry, it was Galena. He ends up playing Galena's body rather than the ball, and that'll draw a yellow every time.
We've seen one yellow on each team. Both of these teams have come in with a dubious top 10 ranking. Both are in the top 10 in terms of bookings, and I don't mean in terms of attendance at the library. Colorado Springs is 3rd in the USL, came in with 48 yellows. They've already picked up 1, and the Toros tied for 7th in the league with 43, now make it 44. We've got a free kick here awarded to Colorado Springs. It looks like Manley committing that foul. Carter Manley, 25, out of Elk Ridge, Maryland.
get a look right here as that pass is sent forward. Right as it's coming just past the play, you see Manley just side by side making collision there. And Manley tries to make the argument that I didn't generate the contact. The contact came from Lewis. Lewis pushed me. But either way, they both took a pretty violent tumble there.
And Andre Lewis out of Jamaica has a couple goals, couple of assists this year. Both those goals came against Hartford Athletic a couple of games ago. Yeah, Lewis looks like he's going to take this free kick. Two-man wall in front of him, and there's Lewis. Will send it over in toward the net, and Miller's there to pick that up at his 6-yard line. So Miller doing a really good job. This is his second straight starts, played basically 1.5 games coming in, but has showed great command of the box in his short stint.
That just shows the depth and quality of keepers that Wilmer Cabrera has brought to this Toros team. And Tyler Derrick, a stalwart. They're standing in net, and then to be able to have somebody like Miller come in, a big step. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ plus community through the Forever Proud project. The USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud.
Here's Beckford. Missed the penalty a moment ago. Passes it off to Barry. Barry, the leading goal scorer by far in the USL with 16 goals. Next highest is 11 in the league. So, yeah, you can see he is just taking off with the scoring in this league as the Toros moving now. Their leading scorer also caught here with it, able to get around his marker. Will send it into the area. Sorto there. Nice sliding tackle by Arguita. Lopez will give it a shot, and it's too high. But a nice shot there from Lopez, who has that cannon for a leg.
I like that look for the Toros as well. We said their key coming in was to be aggressive in their attack, and that's exactly what you see there. None of the switchbacks step forward to apply any pressure on Lopez, and as he's standing there, he says, well, if you're not going to come forward, I'll take it. And floats that just a little, but that is a really nice look.
Lopez has over 100 games played in the USL. 2 goals on 23 shots this season coming into tonight. In fact, he's second on the team in shots and on shots on target. We saw that shot on target a moment ago when he had the free kick that was saved by Melvin, who had to dive to his right and keep both teams with goose eggs on the scoreboard. More than halfway through the first half now. This will be a throw in for the Toros. We were talking about the switchbacks in their offense. They've scored 3 or more goals 7 different times this year. They're averaging about 1.94 goals a game, which is 3rd in the league. Toros have given up 3 goals only once all season. That was in a loss to Phoenix.
It's like the old thought experiment. What happens when an immovable object hits an unstoppable force?
Oh, yes.
That's what we've got going right here. This Toros defense has been spectacular on the season. They're going to face this switchbacks offense, which nobody has seemed to have a solid answer for.
Of course, Toros began the night 2nd in the Mountain Division, just 3 points ahead of Colorado Springs, which is 3rd. Here's a center ball intended for Amo, kicked away from him, and now the switchbacks on the attack. Trying to get it to Among, but it hits his back heel, and Toros regain possession. Manley shifts it over to Lopez, and now Riley will give it to Kettle. Kettle will send it upfield. Ama will touch it off to Sorto. Sorto unable to get turned there. Some tight marking there by Arguita.
That last attack for the switchbacks, if there was any question about the precision of Andre Lewis's passing, look no further what happened there. He hit his teammate running away on the back of his heel in full motion. You want to talk about being on target.
Toros try to engineer an attack here. Azocar, 25 years old, out of Venezuela. Slide it over to Sorto. A nice little touch to Azocar, and it's a goal! Toros on the board. 1-0 here, mid-first half. Azocar with his 6th goal of the season.
And that's what makes Azocar the player to watch. He saw that goal 4 or 5 steps before it even happened. The defense a little slow to mark him. What does he do? Quick touch pass over to Christian Sorta, and then he throws that right hand up because he's going right by his defender. Perfect spot, perfect touch, perfect goal.
You could kind of see Melvin saw what was happening and charged out of his goal, but was just a split second too late. And what a nice touch there by Sorto to lay it up perfectly. If he'd put a little too much on it, Melvin would have likely gotten there first.
That's just spectacular timing and spectacular awareness from both players. Azokar saw that defense just a little lazy to get over to tag him. He looks up at Sorto, gives him a point, takes off, throws his hand up and says, "Give it to me." Goal, goal, goal.
And we saw a look there from a concerned head Switchbacks coach, Brendan Burke, in his first year as head coach here at Colorado Springs. And Toro's pretty good when they score first. They came in with 7 wins, only 1 loss, and a draw this year when they get the first goal. And we've got Galena down once again. 3rd time he's been knocked to the ground tonight, and a second yellow card comes out. Coach Burke not happy about it.
It's going to go against Eric Pimentel. Pimentel comes over and is trying to apply a lot of pressure, and there was a little more contact than pressure being applied there. And Pimentel spins around real quick and puts his hands up like, I didn't really do anything, but fortunately for him, there was some pretty serious contact. For correction, they're going to go to Cuero instead. I thought that was Pimentel collapsing. So Cuero picks up the yellow card. We'll get another look right here. You see, as he comes to apply pressure, that ball's already passed, and he sets what's a pretty vicious blindside block right there. And that'll draw yellow.
That's just his second one of the season. Cuero out of San Cristobal, Venezuela. One of 3 Venezuelans on this Toros team. See Coach Burke. Burke used to coach with Philadelphia Union in Major League Soccer. He was an assistant there. And then coached in the USL at Bethlehem Steel. And right before that team became Philadelphia Union 2. Long pass. Miller's there, but unable to pick it up because it was outside the area. And now he will. 1-0 here, Toros, after a terrific goal by Azokar, and a nice give and go there between Sorto and Azokar for that goal. For Sorto, that's his 2nd assist this year, and it was a beauty. Ball played back to Melvin. Toros applying a little bit of pressure here, but the Switchbacks able to deal with it. Bringing the ball up near midfield. Burt turns around. Burt, a 7-year veteran with the Switchbacks club. So he passed it back. Galena will pass it back, intended for Burt, but stolen by Azokar. A little bit of pressure by the Toros, and an opportunity here. Here's Lopez, slides it over. Amo, a shot off the post, a rebound, and it goes up in the air. Still loose in the area. Azokar with his back to goal. Gets it to Sorto. And now a shot from the defender is wide. That's James Murphy. Sends it out of play, but Colorado Springs living on the edge of the precipice right there as the Toros almost had a second goal.
You see Murphy clapping his hands. He had a really good point-blank look here, but let's take another look coming the other way. Almo puts that one right in a good spot. Deflection, bounces back up again. Give some credit to Azokar clearing some space to allow Sorto to set that up for Murphy, but Murphy catches that off the side of his foot rather than the edge of his toe, and that's what forces that one just wide and out. Worth mentioning quickly, the Toros are 7-1-1 when being the first team to score in a match. They were the first to strike here. That could be a big stat to watch because this is a Toros team that doesn't allow a lot of goals. So when they take a lead, they're pretty good at protecting it.
And we see we've got a hydration break going on right now because of the humidity that we did talk about. And, of course, the temperature was near 100 degrees. We'll take another look at that play here by Azokar. This is the goal here. And then Sorto and Azokar with the give and go, and Azokar with his 6th goal of the year and the 5th goal in his last 7 matches. So he has just been on fire lately for the Toros.
And just the quality of touch that you saw there between Sorto and Azokar is spectacular.
And we've got the schedule now for the Switchbacks. They're right in the middle of a road swing here, aren't they? This is their second straight road game, and now they've got a third one coming up.
Yeah, they'll finish it up here August 21st against Charlotte Independence, and they've got a chance to come home for one. They'll get one of our favorites, the Austin Bold from the Mountain Division, tying up there on the 28th. Then they'll hit the road one more time. They're at New Mexico United before coming home for a 2 more set against Real Monarchs and then the Rio Grande Valley Toros on September 11th.
And for the Toros, it's going to be tough. This is the first of 4 games in the next 15 days.
And they've got quite a road swing ahead of them. 17th and the 21st, they've got the Austin Bold and El Paso Locomotive, 2 interdivision teams looking to find solid spots in the Mountain Division. Of course, Locomotive sitting at the top right now. And they'll finish up that road swing out there in Oklahoma against the OKC Energy before they come home for 2 big ones, September 4th against Loudoun United. And then they'll see this very same Switchbacks team, as we said, here at HEB Park on September 11th.
Yeah, in fact, this is the first of 4 meetings with Colorado Springs. Kind of odd the schedule makers put all 4 matchups in the second half of the season, but this is the first time they've seen each other this year. That second meeting will be, as you saw there, on September 11th. Then a week later, on September 18th, they play again, and the final of the 4 meetings on October 16th, which is about 2 weeks from the end of the regular season.
It's kind of the exact opposite of the schedule the Toros had against San Antonio FC, where they played all 4 of those matchups in the first half of the season. So they won't see San Antonio again, but they get 4 matchups against the Switchbacks.
We've got a foul here, won by the Switchbacks. There have been 7 whistles already on Colorado Springs, 6 on the Toros. So the referee has had a busy half. Also awarded a penalty. That was saved by the Toros' Colin Miller. There's Camden Riley chesting that ball down. And a bit of bother there. He's able to send it over to the right side. And Lopez with a nice little turn there. Oh, there's a sliding tackle there by James Murphy. Good job there as Amo has the ball. Over to the left side, here's Sorto. Sorto trying to shake and bake. Will get this into the middle, but it's cleared out there by the defense. And Colorado Springs back on the attack. Galena, who's spent a lot of time on the left side, now over to the right side. And Among is going to be called offside.
That was a good look at the speed there of Among. However, he broke perhaps just a little too quickly. Ends up finding himself a couple steps past Camden Riley when that pass was sent forward. And that's tough when you've a player like Galena or an offense like these Switchbacks. You're looking for a chance to break. You want to get out in the open field. You want to make things happen, but you've got to be cognizant of where the defense is, because you get beyond them and you open yourselves up for those offside.
So Camden Riley put this back in play. 24 years old, out of Dallas. Plays both on the back line and in the midfield. Versatile player for these Toros. Elvis Amo trying to get the steal there for the Toros, but the Colorado Springs able to keep possession. And then James Murphy with the intercept there. Finds the open man quickly. That's Lopez. Lopez, a good playmaker. I'm sorry, now Lopez has it and exchanges the ball with Asukat. Lopez forced to play it back a little bit to Manley on the back line. Manley, one of 2 defenders to score a goal this year for the Toros. Ghetto is the other one. Oh, then a miscommunication there, and Barry with the steal here for Colorado Springs. Back come the Switchbacks. And here they get Among. He's onside this time. Moves into the area. Riley closing in. Among able to center the ball. Barry with the shot, and it's a goal. Barry strikes here in the first half, and we're all tied at 1 between these 2 teams. Barry with his 17th goal of the year.
We talked about this Colorado Springs team wanting to play wide open, and that's the epitome of playing wide open. They were racing down for that one. Nice job of pushing the ball forward. You see Amaga being the aggressor there, pushes it across, forces Colin Miller to come out to defend that. In the process of doing so, the deflection lands right at the feet of Barry. We know how potent he is offensively, and take a look what he does. Just the slightest bit of space, gets a deflection, and powers that one through. We're now knotted at 1.
It was also Gada that got a piece of it. You'll see right here trying to block this, and it actually is able to pop the ball up over Miller, who had already committed, and into the net. So kind of the Toros a little bit victimized by their own aggressiveness there. And Barry, The best goal scorer in the USL this year gets number 17. Third straight game that he's put it into the back of the net. All tied at 1 here. Last 10 minutes of the first half here at HEB Park. Two division rivals meeting for the first time this season. And Colorado Springs working it up to Barry. It's pushed off the ball, but this will be a free kick here now for Colorado Springs.
Going for the W. The USL recently announced the formation of the USL W League, providing increased equity and equality for women looking to pursue careers in soccer both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs across the championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets, the W League is set to begin play in 2022 in more than 30 communities across the United States. Head over to uslwleague.com to learn more.
We saw Barry send it into the Toros area where it was cleared out by the defender Pimentel. Now another long pass intended for Among will go out. This will be goal kick for the Toros. Both teams have been busy. Toros with 8 shots in the first half, 4 for Colorado Springs. And both teams on the scoreboard. There's Burt, the defender, will send this one down. Among, I think, was in an offside position, so does not play the ball. And Toros will have it back here. Pimentel up toward Murphy. And Pimentel, 31 years old, out of Mexico, will lob the ball into the attacking third. Sorto with another lob to the right side. That's Osokada there, trying to make a move, create some space. Has 2 defenders on him now, so he'll give it up to Kuzain. Kuzain's pass was kind of deflected and then headed back toward Melvin. Was able to pick it up. It was a nice header there by Jose Torres.
Yeah, Torres finds himself in a really good spot there, and rather than collapsing in too tightly on Kuzain, just does a nice job of standing there and using his head to clear that ball away from possession, preventing Kuzain from trying to reset something in toward the middle.
So about 5 minutes and change left in the first half. Melvin's long kick is headed forward by Pimentel. And I think it went out before Sorto could motor downfield, so it'll be a throw in here for the visitors. And Barry playing the ball. Has it deflected off him. And it returns to the foot of Barry. Quick pass to Galena. Well, Barry and Galena have just been sensational this year. They've combined for 79 shots coming into tonight and 59 chances created between those two. You've already seen Barry on the score sheet. This is Beckford on the left side, being marked by Manley. Beckford, nice play by Manley to tip it away from him over to Riley, and then Lopez able to clear the ball upfield. That's a 3-on-4 opportunity here for the Toros. Amo playing his first game since June. Slides it over to Kuzain with some space. Now Sorto. However dangerous on that left side. Moves it to his right foot. His shot's going to go well out of play.
Well, Sorto is a crafty player, especially when he moves forward. And you see him there, does a nice job of clearing himself some space against Torres. Once again, gets a little under that and causes it to float. Sorto would much rather get that off the end of his toe and be able to just kind of drive it instead of floating it. But you got to love the aggression there.
Yeah, Sorto came into tonight leading the Toros in both shots and shots on target. Wasn't able to get that one on target, however, as we see Pimentel, the nice little block of the attempted cross. That'll give a chance for the Toros defense to come get set up. Colorado Springs looking to try to gain the lead here before they head to break. Burt with it on the right. Send it into the middle, and Amo kind of back checking there, came back to intercept that one. Finds Asokara. Here's another opportunity here for the Toros. They've got 5 in the attack. And Asokara thought he had a man to his right. Sends it into open space, and the Switchbacks able to gain control.
That's the second miscommunication between Lopez and Azokar. They're usually in much better connection, but that's twice now where one expected the other to be floating into a spot, but they did not quite follow as expected.
Nice pass by Burt, intended for Galena. and was instead intercepted by Pimentel and sent upfield for the Toros. Sorto will play it back for Murphy. Murphy a long pass to Amo. Amo has 4 goals this season, but 3 of those came in one game against Miami. Hasn't produced much since, and now we've got a collision between a couple of players. The yellow card has come out. One Kuzain is in the mix. I think the other one is Arguita, and it's going to be a yellow for Kuzain.
RGBFC number 21 on Kuzain.
See, Sorto was able to kind of get that one right through the legs of Torres. Kuzain trying to slide down to try to gain possession there, but the sliding tackle doesn't find the ball. Instead, it finds Arguita's ankle. So Kuzain puts his hands up and says, I mean, that wasn't intentional. I wasn't trying to take his feet out. But one way or another, he ends up doing so, and he'll draw the yellow.
Kuzain draws his 5th booking of the season, 22 years old, out of Illinois. It's 3 goals this season, but hasn't scored since June. Colorado Springs with possession here. It's going to be Torres. The nice lob to Galena on the right side. Galena will send it in toward the goal. Miller able to get a piece of it, but the ball's still in play. Lewis slides it up for Beckford. And now a shot from up top is going to be wide. I believe that was Barry who got the shot there, and uncharacteristically was not able to put it on frame. Miller not happy that the Switchbacks able to generate a shot there. The referee requiring them to retake the kick. The last minute before stoppage time here in the first half, tied at 1. Both teams have had chances to add to that total. Here's Amo with it. Amo with a long pass over to Lopez. He'll quickly get it to Asokara with some room on the right side. He's got Mahoney up against him. Asokara able to squeeze it through and win a corner kick here for the Toros.
It's going to be the second trip out to the true fit corner for the Toros.
Going to be 2 minutes of added time. This will be the 3rd corner for the Toros. They've scored 3 of their goals this year have come off of corner kicks. The Lopez out of Guadalajara, Mexico, put this in play. Amo trying to get a touch on it. It bounces away from him. It looks like Torres able to play the ball for the Switchbacks. It'll work its way back to the keeper, Melvin. He has to quickly get rid of it over to the opposite side. Switchbacks will have a little bit of time here to set up an attack on their side of the field. Intercept by Kuzain. Trying to get it to Sorto. Sorto unable to get control of it. It'll go out of play, and the Switchbacks will have the possession. Last minute of stoppage time here in the first half. Barry tries the through ball again. He's got 2 men, Galena and Among. Among wins the ball, shoots, has kick save made by Miller. Oh, Miller just got that right foot out there, able to save that one.
I can't say much better about Colin Miller. I mean, look at his instincts here. He knows where that's coming long before the kick comes. Like a goalie in hockey, just does that little kick, throws that leg out there, and sends that one away. That was a spectacular set of instincts.
Yeah, I was thinking Melvin, the keeper at the other end, he's from Canada. I'm sure he can appreciate that kind of save. Kick save in a butte, I think they usually say. But yeah, Miller, a good job there to just get out that right ankle and get a piece of that ball and deny Among there. Into the middle it goes, kicked out by the Toros. There's the whistle. We're at halftime, all tied at 1. A lot of offense, a lot of attacks by both teams. I think both teams can be happy about where they are at this point, all tied at 1 at the break. Goals by Azocar for the Toros and Berry for Colorado Springs. Coming up here at halftime, we'll have reports around the USL, plus our halftime highlights and halftime stats. Also a look at standings and the schedules. All that coming up at halftime. When we come back, you're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
When we said Reliant offers free flex days, we had something a little different in mind. Get the flexibility of free electricity on your 2 highest use days every week with the Reliant Truly Free Flex Days plan. That's up to 8 free days a month. So go on. What are you waiting for? We'll even upgrade your plan to solar. On us. Reliant. That's power. Your way.
DHR Health is now safer than ever and continues to remain focused on one thing: providing exceptional care to our patients and community. No other hospital is trying harder to keep you safe. We're taking every action to ensure your safety with enhanced precautions, including 3 off-site COVID-19 units. Your health should never wait. Don't delay your health care. There is no reason to. Schedule your appointment today. DHR Health. For you, for life.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
Welcome back to our halftime report here at HEB Park in Edinburgh, Texas. And Brian, take it away.
And special thanks to our halftime sponsor, Live Oak Texas Vodka, the official vodka sponsor of the RGV Toros. Plenty of action going on around the USL this week. Let's take a look at the recap.
First-generation student here at Bellevue University. I feel like if I were to have gone to a different university, my experience would have been a lot more stressful and overwhelming, because I feel like I wouldn't have gotten that personal experience that Bellevue University has to offer.
City double their money, and how sweet the sound at Lynn Family Stadium.
Plenty of action there across the USL as we discussed. Quite a week it was across the USL. Here's your team of the week, presented by Clear Audio. What a matchup that is. Player we want to focus on, though, your player of the week, Tyler Wolf, out of Atlanta United 2. He had a hat trick as they defeated Indy 11 6-2 on Sunday at Fifth Third Bank Stadium. What a spectacular look that was. Another player you may recognize from prior games, Nathan Fogaka, otherwise known as Nathan for San Antonio FC, picks up player of the week, as well as Andre Lewis of the Switchbacks. player you've seen have some pretty good action here earlier this evening against the Toros. 11 other games in action besides what you're seeing here between the Toros and the Switchbacks today. A couple of finals worth mentioning here as Oakland defeated LA 2-1. Sporting Kansas City falls to Atlanta 4-1. Final just a moment ago, Indy 11 defeated Oklahoma City 2-1. The 73rd minute, Charlotte leads Pittsburgh 1-0. Louisville has got the 1-0 lead over Tulsa in the 66th minute. And Memphis is tied with Birmingham at 0-0 in the 23rd minute. 5 more games left to play later on this evening, including a pretty big matchup for the Mountain Division as the Austin Bold take on Miami.
I think some other things going on in the USL, aren't there, with I think Phoenix and Orange County have made a couple of moves.
Yeah, a couple of big moves there. Phoenix brought in forward Rafat Dadashov, who transferred from Phoenix Rising FC to the German club FC Schalke 04. Having scored 15 goals since joining that club prior to the 2020 USL Championship. He's also got 6 assists, so that's a huge pickup for Phoenix Rising. Also out in Orange County, they signed veteran midfielder Dylan Powers, bringing the former MLS Rookie of the Year onto their squad. He most recently played for the Scottish side Dundee United, where he helped them gain promotion from the Scottish Championship to the Scottish Premiership. That's a big move for Orange County as they continue to make their move toward being one of the more founding teams right there within their division. Lots of action, as we said, across the USL market. We've talked all season about what a spectacular USL season this has been, as the standings really starting to kind of shake themselves up as we make some midway point. But as we were talking about before this all started out, the second half schedule is going to be the real key as these teams try to solidify themselves. Another look at the Switchback schedule coming forward. As we said, they're wrapping up what's been a grueling road swing for them. One more left on it. After they conclude tonight, they'll be out at Charlotte Independence on the 21st. Then they get some rest. They'll come home to face the Austin Bold. One more trip out to face Mexico United, and then they'll get to come home for 2 more against Real Monarchs and the very team you see on the pitch right now, the Rio Grande Valley Toros, on September 11th.
And yeah, meanwhile, the Toros have a grueling schedule ahead, don't they? 4 games in the next 15 days.
Yeah, and a couple of really strong opponents. Austin Bold, who's trying to make a push for a playoff position right now on the road. They'll also go on the road to face Mountain Division leader El Paso Locomotive. Then don't overlook that game on the 29th. Oklahoma City Energy have really shown some real energy over their last 4 games. They're starting to put themselves in a really good spot to scare a lot of teams ahead of them in the division standings. Then they'll come home 2 more, Loudoun United and then the Colorado Springs Switchbacks. So I think if the Toros can get through these 5 and pick up about 10 points across that will go a long way towards solidifying their spot in the top side of the Mountain Division. You say look at the Mountain Division standings right now, the aforementioned El Paso Locomotive standing at the top 37 points, starting to distance themselves from the rest of the pack.
And they regained the top spot in the USL Power Rankings this week as well.
But then look how tight everything gets between 2 and 6. 2 and 6 are separated basically by 2 wins. Remember, the top 4 teams will make the playoffs. So right now that would be El Paso, Rio Grande Valley, Colorado Springs, and San Antonio FC. But don't count out the Austin Bold or Mexico United at this point. They are within a win right now of catapulting themselves into a playoff spot.
Yeah, and in fact, if the playoffs began tomorrow, Rio Grande Valley would be playing host to San Diego Loyal, the 3rd place team in the Pacific. Colorado Springs would travel to Orange County to play on the road. So if you can finish in those top 2, you're going to host a playoff game, which is a very big difference than having to go on the road and try to win one. So you can see how tight it is and how crucial it is. Colorado Springs, even if they pull off a win tonight, could actually overtake the Toros for 2nd place. We've got some highlights and some stats coming up in just a moment. Don't go away. You're watching USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
When we said Reliant offers free flex days, we had something a little different in mind. Get the flexibility of free electricity on your 2 highest use days every week with the Reliant Truly Free Flex Days plan. That's up to 8 free days a month. So go on. What are you waiting for? We'll even upgrade your plan to solar. On us. Reliant. That's power. Your way.
DHR Health is now safer than ever and continues to remain focused on one thing: providing exceptional care to our patients and community. No other hospital is trying harder to keep you safe. We're taking every action to ensure your safety with enhanced precautions including 3 off-site COVID-19 units. Your health should never wait. Don't delay your health care. There is no reason to. Schedule your appointment today. DHR Health. For you, for life.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
Working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
Today at Whataburger, we're cooking the Buffalo Ranch chicken strip sandwich. We got 3 chicken strips topped with Whataburger's own buffalo sauce, a little bit of buttermilk ranch, 2 slices of Monterey Jack cheese. The combination is just right.
It's crunchy and then it's spicy and then it's cool. Your mouth is exploding with flavor.
It just all works together, and then you add the cheese in there.
It kind of wakes me up, honestly. My goodness. I can see myself eating this every time I come here.
They're gonna go crazy for this thing. The Buffalo Ranch chicken strip sandwich. That's back, and it's only for a limited time.
And we're back. Here's some highlights.
Take a look at this penalty kick. This was the goal attempted to be put together by the Switchbacks. Colin Miller reading that perfectly very early on in the minutes here, giving the Toros a little bit of breath. Here's the opening goal. This is Juan Carlos Azacar. Nice touch to Sorto right back. And look at this kick right into the lower corner. That put the Toros up 1-0. Worth taking a second look right now. Sweet ass sugar, Juan Carlos Azacar able to take that into the corner. Here's the goal for the Switchbacks. Samanga is able to send that one back across. Look at the rebound, and then Barry deflects it off the top of a sliding Azacar and buries that into the back of the net. Again, look at this pass just off the tips of Miller, and then Barry doing what he does best, continuing to expand on his USL scoring lead, pushing that one right over the top. Here's your match stats. And I think what really jumps out here, look at the time of possession. The Toros tend to be a team that's really dedicated to controlling the ball, continuing to be in control of the possession, but it was all Switchbacks, 59% to 41% roughly. Scoring even at 1-1 in goal shots, though. Switchbacks just 6. The Toros, we said, had to be aggressive. How about 12 shots in the first half, 5 of which on goal? That is a spectacular result for the Toros. And then take a look at the cards. 3 cards against the Toros, only 1 against the Switchbacks here in the early going.
Also, corner kicks favored the Toros 3-1. Fouls were even at 7 apiece. As both teams came in, we knew they both like to play physical, and no surprises there. But, yep, terrific. We played first half. Yeah, the Toros with 12 shots. They had 14 in their last game against San Antonio, and we're only halfway done with this one. I think their season high is 27, so that might be something that they might even surpass here tonight with a big second half. I'm a little surprised that the Switchbacks were so dominant in possession, though, almost 60%.
Well, I think that speaks to what Coach Burke said coming in, that his team needed to really excel with that, applying pressure, trapping the Toros, and then go the other direction. You've seen it there with the Switchbacks. They have not been a team to stand back and let the Toros just tick away at the clock and technically begin to pick them apart. They have been aggressive. They've been moving forward, trapping, pressing, moving, and all that adds together to a really good time of possession.
You know, something that's impressed me by the Switchbacks club is how effective they are with those through balls and timing it to beat the offside. They did get caught a couple of times with offside, but for the most part, that seemed to be a very effective tactic for them.
Yeah, there's some real chemistry there, and you see it because you're seeing those forwards just with a nod or with a glance or a slight move of the hip seem to be able to signal to the midfielders, I'm going, send that ball deep, and it's been working out beautifully.
You know, and something else, we got just a moment or so before the second half kickoff. See the officials coming out right now. And, I didn't know before this game, I didn't know what a switchback exactly was. We had to look that up. What is a switchback?
Yeah, it's kind of an interesting idea, isn't it? So if you've ever been on a mountain pass, you don't want to come down that mountain barreling at 90-0. So a switchback is that curve in the road that allows you to work back and forth down the mountain and kind of move, sweeping back and forth, preventing you from having to just barrel down the end of the mountain, kind of a safety measure.
Yeah, you can go up and down safely that way, and I'm sure everyone in Colorado is familiar with that, which is home of the Rocky Mountains, but here in the Rio Grande Valley, the southern tip of Texas, it's very flat. Even though we're called Valley, there are no mountains to speak of within a few hundred miles of us. In fact, the closest mountains would be down in Mexico, just to the south of the Rio Grande. But interesting. I always like to study those kinds of things, team mascots and their origins and so on and so forth. But a pretty good first half between the Toros and the Switchbacks. We did talk about how the Toros, when they score first, they are usually able to seal the deal, aren't they?
Yeah, 7-1-1 coming in. So this will be a good test for them. They got that early lead, and then you saw the Switchbacks, an offense that's just known for absolutely pressing opponents to the point of sheer exhaustion. Did that in the first half, continued to press, and they got that equalizer on the second chance rebound from Barry. Now, can the Toros come out and get another goal or hold off this Switchbacks offense to the point of getting to a draw? But as we know, here in the USL, you don't play for a draw, you play for a win. Because if you play for a draw, you may find yourself walking away without any points.
With nothing. Yeah, it can certainly happen. And, historically, the Toros have done a pretty good job against the Switchbacks, haven't they?
Yeah, they're 6-1-2, including an undefeated record here at HEB Park against the Colorado Switchbacks. So a lot of kind of pride and prestige on the line here for the Toros. You've never dropped a match to this Colorado Switchbacks team from HEB Park. And on the season, you've done extremely well when you're the first one to strike.
Yeah, the Switchbacks have come away with no points here at HEB Park in 4 previous tries, trying to do that here tonight to get a good result. And I think that was something their coach talked about before this game, that they started the road trip, the 3-game swing at Memphis 901. They were able to get a point there and want to build on that momentum a little bit to try to get good results through this 3-game road swing that they're on. This is the middle game of that 3-game swing right now. Now we see, I think we're going to have a new substitute in there for the Toros there, number 11.
And it's like Vicente Sanchez is coming in, and right as we were talking about that, you saw Rodrigo Lopez pulled off that captain's armband and traded it over to Vicente Sanchez. So the veteran 41-year-old forward is going to come in and apply a little bit of pressure here for the Toros. We've talked at length this season about what a spectacular player he is. Coach Cabrera, happy to bring him in. He's like an assistant coach out there on the field, able to see things from a player's perspective, but have that experience to look at it with a coach's mindset.
Looks like he'll be lined up at the right wing with Azócar in the middle. This is his 17th appearance. He's only made 3 starts, but like you said, the strategy with Sanchez is to kind of limit his minutes to make him more effective when he is out there on the pitch. Does have 1 goal and 1 assist this season. We're underway in the second half here at HEB Park, and right away the Toros generating a turnover here. This is Alexis Cerritos, another substitute who's just come on, forcing Colorado Springs to kick it out and give up a corner kick right off. And this is a substitute that they've made, number 34, Michael Edwards, in there on the defense.
That's just a great job of taking advantage there of Edwards. Edwards just coming in, still trying to get his legs under him. And Cerritos and Sanchez say, well, it's time for us to strike. And that little 1-2 punch leads to a really nice trip to the true fit corner by the Toros. Vicente Sanchez will take this kick.
We saw Lopez doing that in the first half. Sanchez will send this in, and it's headed up in the air, still in play there. And then it's kneed out by the Switchbacks. And here they try to return it to Sanchez, who's onside. A nice little touch in there, headed out by the Switchbacks. And now a shot from distance by Sorto. And Melvin almost forced to play that. Wasn't quite certain if that was going to be over the bar or not, but it does go over for a goal kick.
And Christian Sorto not afraid to get out his long-distance calling card. And look at it right here. Sanchez puts that in a beautiful spot. Nice tap. Rodrigo Lopez sends that to Sorto, and he puts a raindrop just over the top of the crossbar.
A nice touch there. His second close shot of the game. Of course, he did assist on the Toros goal earlier in the first half. Here's Azócar trying to win the ball. Gets into touch, but now there's a whistle. And this will be a foul against the Toros.
So they'll say a handball there against Azócar. You see, he was fighting through 3 black kits, and in the process of doing so, on the rebound, it comes up and catches him on that wrist, low side of the hand, and they'll call the handball.
It reminds me of that controversial goal Thierry Henry scored for the French team many years ago, where the ball kind of hit his hand ever so slightly, bounced down to his feet, and he scored a game winner that I think clinched a World Cup berth for the French team. See that now and again. Here, opening minutes of the second half, and the Switchbacks with a shot that's going to be high over Miller. And both teams with some fireworks here early on.
I don't know what these two coaching staff said at halftime, but I'm going to take a guess and say kick, 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 because these two teams have been aggressive over the first couple of minutes.
That was Lewis who had the attempt there that went over the bar by the Switchbacks. And Riley kicks this one deep. It goes out of play. Switchbacks will have the throw in. So Switchbacks with some pressure here, able to gain possession here in the early second half. Now the referee is saying that they did not inbound it in the proper place, so he'll force them to do it again. This will be Mahoney to throw it in. Referee again is Michael Radchuk.
And Radchuk's been very, very adamant that they play the ball from where he wants it to be played from. We've seen it several times already. He's not afraid to blow that whistle and have them restart.
Nice little turnaround there by Torres. Gets it to Barry. Barry's going to send it to the opposite end of the field. Being chased down by Beckford, who's unable to get control, and it'll be a goal kick here for the Toros.
Saw another quick substitution that was in for the Toros right there. You saw Adrian Vetta was the player trailing on that midfielder coming into play in the second half.
So you have 3 substitutes made there at the halftime break by the Toros. I'm wondering if the heat might be part of the reason for that.
Keeping some fresh legs out there.
I see a yellow card going to be issued to Toros play. I think that's Adrian Vetta, who had just came on here at the start of the second half.
We'll get another look. Vetta trying to close the angle here. And you see he just kind of pushes off and then ends up tripping Andre Lewis as Lewis is trying to clear some space around him.
He'll be the 4th Toro to be booked in this game. We had mentioned both these teams came in the top 10 in the league in bookings. As a header on the net is going to go wide. Oh, it's a nice little flick on header there by Colorado Springs in front of Miller. It ends up wide.
I think that was pretty fortunate for the Toros because Miller was not going to be able to break quickly enough to put a real good challenge against that head, but it was wide, so Miller did not have to push too hard.
So a through ball attempt is going to be intercepted by the Switchbacks. Burt will send it downfield into the attacking third for Colorado Springs. And Murphy able to get it for the Toros. And then Lopez will send it deep, trying to get it to a streaking Sanchez, but nice positioning there by the defender Mahoney. Barry trying to get turned. Barry scored in the first half, his 17th goal. Leads the league by 6. The 17 goals. As the ball kicked away from him, and back come the Toros. Is Sorto with it. Nice little through ball there for Vetta, but anticipated by Barry. Ball kicked up to midfield, won by Amon. Opportunity here for the Switchbacks. He's going to send this one to Lewis. It's kicked away from him. And Pimentel with control. And being shrouded by Beckford. Beckford knocks it out of play. It'll be a Toros throw in.
I like that decision there by Pimentel. He had the opportunity to try to just put a hard clearance on that. Instead, uses some restraint, pulls back, forces Beckford to come over to him, and then just deflects it away.
Beckford, a former Toro, played with him the last couple of years. The team's trying to play keep away right now. Cerritos from El Salvador, able to play it up for the Toros before it's headed back by Colorado Springs. Galena with it here. Oh, nice sliding tackle there by Lopez. And back on the attack are Rio Grande Valley. Sanchez will send it over to Sorto now. Sorto with room on the left side. Burt marking him into the middle to Asokar. Nice pass, Sanchez. A one touch is wide as Sanchez is knocked down. Official rules, no foul there. It's going to be a corner kick, though. And wow, this shows you just how dangerous both Asokar is with his quick passing and also Sanchez.
And that was a beautiful pass And you notice very quickly, though, is I think that actually was never even touched by Vicente Sanchez because he doesn't challenge that. Pops right back up and points to the corner. So over to the true fit corner will go Sanchez and the Toros.
Galena was the one coming back on defense for the switchbacks there. And now here it is to Riley. Riley into the area, takes a tumble. Barry gains control as play continues. Fans not liking that as 2 Toros have gone down in the box in the last minute or so. Switchbacks, of course, won a penalty back in the first half, one that was saved by Miller. Mahoney will square it for Beckford. Now Torres with the turn. Torres, a Texan from Longview up in the northeast corner of the state. Probably a good 500 miles from Edinburgh, giving an idea just how big the state of Texas is. Quick passing here by the switchbacks. Burt to Arguita. Arguita with some space, so he'll push it forward. Switchbacks with a 1-1 draw against Memphis 901 just a few days ago. This is the second of their 3-game road trip. Galena with some space, sends it into the middle, and there it is for Barry. A shot off the bar and over and out of play. And just like that, Switchbacks almost had the 2-1 lead.
And Barry almost picked up another goal, just pushed that a little high and off the top of the crossbar. Take another look here. This is some spectacular passing by the Switchbacks. A little soft touch, and Barry, look at that. That crossbar is still vibrating because it took a shot.
It was Galena who got it to Beckford, Beckford to Barry, and then you saw Barry's shot off that crossbar, and a save attempt there by Miller.
United Soccer League, all 31 championship clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com.
10 minutes into the second half, and we've seen some good action, good opportunities by both teams here early on. And again, the referee ordering that the throw-in be from a specific place. Manley plays it upfield into the Switchbacks defensive side. Sanchez able to win the ball there for the Toros. Against the taller Edwards. Goes to the Uruguayan. Now pass to Murphy. Murphy quickly over to Sorto. It's an attack from the opposite end. Sent it for Azucar, but it's kicked away from him adroitly by Torres. And back come the Switchbacks. First of 4 meetings between these two teams this season. They'll play twice more in September and a 4th time in October. Lopez, soft touch to Murphy. He'll get it to Cerritos. Cerritos, whose father played in Major League Soccer and also for the El Salvadorian national team. Plays it back to his teammates. Pimentel with it now with some space to work with. 3 on the back line right now for the Switchbacks. Burt able to knock that one away, but Cerritos regains possession for the Toros. They'll switch it back to the opposite end for Sanchez. Kicked away from him by Mahoney. Now Beckford with a nice through ball for Among with the acres of space to work with. Picks up a marker, he'll let it go on goal, and it's a goal! I think he may have caught Miller a little flat-footed, and a score by Among, and the Switchbacks have the lead for the first time tonight at 2-1.
That was a spectacular strike. His teammates love it. Take a look like this, driving it forward, and then Among able to push that, and he's got just enough space there to get a beautiful little bend and wrap right around the outstretched arms of Miller, who was shadowing a little bit tight, did not cover that blind side quite so well. And all Miller can do is watch that one go right past his outstretched arms. What a strike for Among and the Switchbacks.
That was something. I'm wondering, Manley, who is the marker back there, I'm wondering if he may have screened Miller just a wee little bit. We did see Miller get a dive, but Among, a nice curling shot there for the 2-1 lead. And for Among, who came in with no goals and no assists, has one of each here tonight. Assisted on Barry's goal in the first half and now has that one in the books. And now we're back underway here. So the Toros trailing at home now, up 2-1, or rather down 2-1, early in the second half. Quick pass to Sanchez. Sanchez will attack the middle, send it forward. He's trying to get it to Asokada, kicked away from him, and Galena will center it for Lewis. Long pass to Beckford. Almost lost control, regains. Ford goes out of touch. And now Barry with it. Barry tried to make a little move there on Riley, but a great job by Riley to pick his pocket. Vetta will play it up for Sorto. Sorto, plenty of space there to work with. They'll find Asokar, who had the goal for the Toros in the first half. Now Lopez. Lopez moving forward. Came in tied for 9th in the USL with chances created. There's a nice little lob. A header by Sorto. And Sanchez with the score! How about that? Vicente Sanchez. The terrific volley into the net. And we're all tied at 2.
And look at the flip right there by the 41-year-old. He says, I may not be as young as I once was, but I am still spry. And take a look at that. Just spectacular timing by Sanchez with a pinball effect there. Lopez off the head of Sorto. And Sanchez says, I can finish that. Spectacular goal. We're now nodded at 2, the veteran, showing what that veteran experience and presence can do. And the flip.
We saw that earlier. He scored a game winner earlier this season. The last 5 minutes of the game to win it 1-0. And Sanchez, who came on at halftime, has put one in less than 15 minutes on the pitch.
Looks like Among is going to come out. He'll be replaced out there on the pitch by Yaya Torre for the Switchbacks. So the goal scorer here in the second half is going to take a much-deserved rest. Goal and an assist in this one. And a name many soccer fans will recognize, Yaya Torre out there on the pitch.
Indeed, yes. But not that Yaya Torre, but still a pretty talented young man, only 17 years old. Has 2 goals already to his credit, playing a forward for the Switchbacks. And the Yaya Torre, I think most of us are familiar with. Of course, played with several teams, including Monaco, Barcelona, Manchester City. He's now retired as a player. He's an assistant coach in Russia. Had to look that up today. But he's out there on the pitch, and an exciting young man, Yaya Torre, out there in a 2-2 game. We expected some fireworks tonight. We're getting it. Pass intended for Asokar. It goes past him. Kicked out by the Switchbacks. Not quite yet halfway through the second half, and already we've seen both teams score a goal here. Switchbacks trying to gain control here. So a new player out there is, well, that's Torre. Got knocked down. And here comes Sanchez. So you've got Torre, 17 years old. Sanchez, 41 years old. Sanchez getting the goal a moment ago to tie it up at 2 with assist by Rodrigo Lopez and also Sorto. Sorto with 2 assists tonight. Here's Sorto right here. Gets it around Burt, but it's cleared out by Edwards. Mike Edwards, who's out of Virginia, just 20 years old. Came on as a second half sub. Toros win it back. Manley fires it over to Sanchez. He'll run into the middle. Sanchez with a nice little pass trying to get it to Asokar. Kicked away by the Switchbacks. Back they come on the attack. Barry will send it across the half line to Beckford. Beckford just 23 out of Jamaica. Barry played his college ball at Central Florida. Has it right now on the left sideline. Beckford will press inside. Nice little through ball to Torre, the 17-year-old, trying to center it. And Pimentel will have none of that. He'll send it out and concede the corner.
Good play defensively there for the Toros, trying to counter what was a really nice built attack by the Switchbacks of Colorado Springs. Pimentel puts himself in a good spot. That's really all he can do there. He's got to clear that away because he is that last line of defense against a really good opportunity to cross that right in front of the box.
This will be just the second corner for the Switchbacks. It's going to be played quickly there by Torres. It's a return from Lewis. Now Torres will center the ball. Asokar there to kick it clear for Rio Grande Valley. Beckford has to play it back for the Switchbacks. Now Sanchez with it. A quick turn and fire headed down by Beckford. Sanchez sending it over to the left side to Cerritos. Cerritos has some speed. He'll move in. Tries a shot blocked by Arguita. Good job by Arguita there to stuff that one. And it'll be Galena who wins the ball on the far side for the Switchbacks.
Quick foul there on Sorto as he gets wrapped up in the legs with Burt. So Burt will get a restart there. You know, we said coming in that this was a Colorado Springs team that was offensively focused, but I've been really kind of surprised here that we've seen their ability to get in some of those passing lanes and cut off angles. So don't think this is a Colorado Springs team that's just avoiding defense. They do a pretty nice job of cutting off passing lanes, but I think where you're seeing goals from the Toros have been from the Toros being aggressive and continuing to press and push and forcing Colorado Springs to get back off their heels.
So 64th minute now. We're all tied at 2. Switchbacks on the attack here again. Beckford trying to get around Manley. Has Riley backing him up, and it's Riley who wins the ball here. And they'll send it up for Sanchez. Or correction, that's Murphy down there. And Switchbacks win the ball. Torres will center it quickly for Lewis. Lewis will work it back to the opposite side. They play it up top to Torres. Arguita make that. Arguita moving forward. Murphy comes over to mark him. And now we've got a whistle. There's going to be a free kick here for the Switchbacks.
I think that's a nice call right there. Cerritos was literally riding the back of Arguita as he tried to turn that corner. You see right there, he plants both those hands in his back as he's going down. That's where he'll draw the foul. If a player's already going to the turf, no need to assist them on the way down. Just allow that to happen naturally.
See Vicente Sanchez wearing the captain's armband there for the Toros.
You saw the referee signaling there were 2 fouls, both a foul where they're placing that, and then they'll say the second foul comes where Akita went down a little closer to the outline.
So the Torres looks like he'll take it. Played for 3 different teams in the Mexican top flight. And he'll play this to the left quickly. And Galena will lift the ball toward the right. It's going to go out of play. Might have been a miscommunication. No one over there on that far post there for the Switchbacks. You can see Veta working his way upfield. Came on as a second half sub. And Toros dodge a bullet there. Switchbacks trying to win the ball again. That's Edwards able to make a nice little sliding tackle. Get it to Burt. Burt, the defender, will charge up forward. 7-year Switchbacks veteran. It's kicked away from him and goes to Beckford now. And Lewis with a little one-touch there for the Switchbacks. They get something going here. And now Torre goes down in the area. Gets right back up, is chasing after the ball. Toros have a player down. That's Riley. Play will continue here. Now Riley is back up. Appears to be okay. The action continues as the Switchbacks will reverse it to the left side of the field and try the attack on that side. This is Galena. Has a lot of speed there. Came in with 5 goals this season as Barry tries to get it to Galena. Galena goes down, picked up by Miller. And there's going to be a foul here. It's going to be a free kick in a dangerous position for the Switchbacks. And another yellow card. This is going to be on Pimentel.
You saw there Pimentel trying to remain aggressive defensively. You can't fault that backline defender from wanting to protect his space, because Beyond him, it's just the keeper. And see, he tries to come in, but rather than being able to get a clean move on the ball and get the tackle, he ends up kind of hip-checking Galena. And that's going to get you a foul more times than it won't. You've got to play the ball. You cannot play the body of the offensive player.
Galena's won several fouls here this evening. Using his speed, Pimentel picks up the yellow, his 4th of the season. 31 years old, out of Mexico. Played many years in the Mexican League before coming to the USL. And this is going to be from about 20 yards out. A good opportunity here for the Switchbacks here in the 69th minute. Toros taking no chances. They are going to put 5 in the wall with 1 player laying down in case it's a low shot under the wall. Miller still giving instructions to his defense. Galena and Torres standing over the ball. So you mentioned Galena has 5 goals this season. Torres doesn't have any. He does have 1 assist. Got Beckford on the right. They have Lewis kind of in the middle. It's going to be Galena, and it's a goal! The Switchbacks regain the lead, 3-2 in this back and forth game, and Galena slides that one in perfectly, and then a great backflip there to celebrate the Switchbacks taking the lead here in the 70th minute.
That was beautifully executed. Torres comes forward, cannot put a play on the ball intentionally, pulls up that foot, forces Galena to make the move. You see the move there. As it started, Miller just moved ever so slightly in the opposite direction, then has to pick back up and carry back the other way and cannot get back across quick enough. Big goal there for Colorado Springs. And now the Toros have allowed 3 goals for just the 3rd time this season.
That is true. And Galena gets his 6th goal of the season. He's 2nd on the team in goals scored. Came in with 7 assists as well. And Galena, who's won several free kicks for his team tonight, won that free kick that led to that goal there and a 3-2 lead. Here's Barry inside. Will slide it inside, then kicked away by the Toros. Barry with a good chance there. Saw Miller coming out, elected to center the ball kind of unselfishly, and then the defense able to clear it.
This is a beautiful touch by Barry. Puts it right in a good spot, and had James Murphy not been there to clear that away, that could have been easily a 4th goal for the Switchbacks.
So they take the corner kick and quickly put it back into play. Now work it over to Burt on the right side. Now try to send the ball all the way to the right. They have Beckford over there, and a nice steal there by Vetta.
The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ plus community through the Forever Proud project. The USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud.
Murphy's pass was taken down by Galena. He'll pop it up to Torre. Torre able to win the ball. This is onside, saved by Miller. Torre even hesitated a little bit like he thought he might be offside. The play did continue, and Miller came all the way out to make a good save here.
Beautiful job making himself as wide as he can, and ends up taking that one right off the forearm. See, Pimentel's got his hands up. Pimentel was pretty sure that was offside. Officials say no, not quite, and so we'll make another trip over to the True Fit corner.
This will be the 4th corner now for this Switchbacks team as Lewis puts it in play toward the top of the box. Headed out by Vetta, is chasing it, has Burt on his tail. Vetta forced to play it back, and now they're calling a foul. Vetta drew the foul against Burt. And a free kick here for the Toros.
Yeah, Burt had a handful of Vetta's jersey and just kind of yanks him to the ground as he tries to turn that corner.
So 73rd minute now. It's a 3-2 lead for the Switchbacks. 8th time this season they have scored at least 3 goals. Came in as the third highest scoring team in the league, behind Phoenix is one of them. I believe Louisville the other one. And there's a shot by Barry and another goal! It's another goal by Barry, who shot it from just outside the area. 2 Toros down due to possible injury. And this makes it 4-2.
Haji Berry, just spectacular. You know he's a potent offensive player. Everybody in the stadium knows he has the ability. And he picks up that loose ball and just drives it right past Miller, who actually read that pretty well, just could not get up to challenge that.
We're seeing some substitutions now. This might be a hydration break that they're making. They had one in the first half, now one here in the mid-second half, and they have put it up on the scoreboard. It is 4-2. I thought with the 2 players down, wasn't positive if there had been a whistle or not, but play did continue, and Barry with the shot from about 18 yards out was able to bury that one to the right side of the net. His second goal tonight, and a 2-goal lead now for the Switchbacks.
And you see what leads to it. Andre Lewis sends that pass forward, and Torre just divides right in between Pimentel and Riley. The 2 defenders actually collide with each other as Torre squeezed through, and that left a wide open spot there for Haji Berry. In a better defensive spot, had they not gone down, Eric Pimentel was probably in a spot to come out and challenge that. But instead, Haji Berry is wide open, nobody to challenge him, and he powers that one home.
And looking there at the replay, that was the right calls. The 2 players got injured right at just a split second before Barry's shot took place. And the referee made the right call to let play continue, and Barry gives his team a 4-2 lead. As we take a hydration break and take a look at the upcoming schedule, and Switchbacks doing pretty well on their 3-game road trip so far.
Yeah, they could be positioned in a really good spot to shoot up the Mountain Division standings. If this lead holds, they could vault themselves very close to a second-place spot right now. They'll hit the road August 21st. They'll finish up this road trip at the Charlotte Independence before coming home to face the Austin Bold. Right back out once again, September 4th against New Mexico United. And then they will be home for their next 2, Real Monarchs and the aforementioned Rio Grande Valley Toros, to finish up that portion of their schedule.
You never see the Rio Grande Valley, and they've got a tough climb. After tonight is the start of a 3-game road swing, their longest of the year.
Yeah, and their trip out to Austin Bold, they'll be against division leader Del Paso Locomotive. They'll have the energy of the OKC Energy to deal with there on the 29th, and they'll come home for 2 more. Loudon United, which could be a big home match coming off of that big road swing before they'll face the Colorado Springs Switchback once again. 8 p.m. first kick there on September the 11th.
See Roberto Albuquerque looking like he's about to come onto the pitch for the Toros, a defensive player. So we're back underway now. We're in the last 15 minutes of this match, and the Toros, who had a 2-2 tie just a few minutes ago, have given up 2 goals in the last 5 minutes and now trail 4-2. It's the most goals the Toros have surrendered this season. 3rd time that the Switchbacks have reached 4. They've never reached 5, but they still have plenty of time to get a 5th goal.
And if there was ever any wonder about the potency of this Colorado Springs offense, you see just how quickly they can score when you let up in just the slightest bit. And they have put what is a very good defensive team in the Rio Grande Valley Toros through the motions defensively.
Barry with 2 goals tonight. He came in leading the league with 16. He's got 18 goals now in 18 games played. And he's still got 15 minutes to go in this one. And that is just an incredible pace, 1 goal per game.
So quick substitution now for the Toros. Out will come Camden Riley. He's going to be replaced by the player we mentioned just a few moments ago, Roberto Albuquerque. Albuquerque, the 6'1", 185-pound defender out of Chicago.
Albuquerque racing onto the pitch now. Relatively new player for this Toros team. He was signed in late June. Didn't play last Sunday against San Antonio FC. That was a 2-1 loss for the Toros. Toros in danger of losing their second straight home match, trailing right now by 2 goals as we're in the last 15 minutes. The Toros have been a team that have scored a lot of goals toward the end of matches. In fact, coming into tonight, they had 17 of their 25 goals scored in the second half, 10 of those coming after the 65th minute. And Sanchez trying to win the ball here. Finally does. Got away from 2 markers. He's got Barry on top of him. So Sanchez will pass it off to Lopez. It goes into the area and then out of play. This is going to be a goal kick.
Second substitution for RGDFC coming out.
And it looked like when that pass was sent in to Vicente Sanchez, he was trying to put a little bit of a heel touch on it. Maybe get that over to Babacar J or Christian Sorto, who were crashing. However, that carried a little more than I think he expected it to, as it floated all the way out rather than dropping ever so gently right there into the box.
See Sean Melvin, 6'4", 200 pounds, good size for a goalkeeper. Came in with 31 saves, has 2 so far tonight. Kicks this one deep into the Toros' end. Lewis with a header there for the Switchbacks. The Switchbacks able to win the possession. Goes to Galena. Galena has a goal here tonight. Send it forward for Torre. Torre just 17 years old, trying to work around his marker. It does. Centers it, but Manley kicks it out. It goes to Barry. Then quick passing, kind of a pinball passing there. Barry sends it forward for Torre in the area. Miller comes out, but is kicked away by Albuquerque. Or excuse me, went off Torre, actually. It's going to be a goal kick. Is Albuquerque able to bounce it off of Torre a little bit there, so the Toros could win possession. This is Veta at the midfield, giving him some space, and he'll send it forward for Sorto. Edwards unable to clear it. Sorto able to work it to Babacar J, who's a second half substitute. J has a goal this season, and Edwards knocks this out. It'll be Toros throw in. Babacar J out of Gambia, just 26 years old, midfielder. Throw in goes to Cerritos. Cerritos with it. Edwards marking him. Sorto with a nice one touch to Jay. Jay's touch was a little too heavy and ends up going out of play. Last touched by the Toros. Now here in the 81st minute, it'll be a goal kick for the Switchbacks.
See, Melvin brings this one over for the goal kick. I think Colorado Springs, you want to really take advantage of this 4-2 lead. You've done a lot of work, and no need to really press the pace right now. You've done a spectacular job of putting the Toros back on their heels, especially over the last about 10 minutes of play. Now it's time to step back, take a little bit of a breath here, take your time, get into good defensive positions because you need to hold and protect this lead.
If they can't hold the lead, the Switchbacks will overtake the Toros for second place in the Mountain Division. There's Sanchez with it on the right against Mahoney. They collide. Mahoney goes down. Sanchez still standing, able to center the ball all the way to the left side. The Switchbacks gain control quickly. It was Beckford who was hustling back and able to clear it out of danger. Pimentel with it for the Toros. Now restart the attack. Vera, long pass. And nobody running downfield. It was Jay who kind of pulled up. And it goes all the way back to the keeper, Melvin. We'll wait for Sorto to come over there, and then Melvin will pick it up. And like you said, Brian, just not in a big hurry here to restart the action. Sorto, who assisted on the first goal tonight, actually assisted on both goals for the Toros. He's had a pretty good evening. Goals by Asokar and by Sanchez. And now here's Sorto again. He's going to be offside.
And Sorto can't believe it. He drops his hands. Kind of looks over at the official waving the flag and gives him a gentle little head nod.
The Toros haven't picked up many offside calls this year. They have I guess their style a little bit different. Try to kind of push it up the field rather than look for the through balls like some teams do. This is Albuquerque. Gets it into Jay with a nice little one touch. They try to work it to Sorto, but Edwards not having any of that. Kicks it away for the Switchbacks. Toros trying to regain control there. Sorto able to work his way around Burt. Now to Jay. Jay finds Vera, who sends it in play, but Burt heads it out for the Switchbacks. Good hustle by the Switchbacks defense here in the closing minutes. Toros 2 goals down. Is Manley with it, fighting on the sideline along with Dore. I think they might even call a foul here, and it'll be a free kick for the Toros.
And Manley's going to need a second. Looked like he cramped up a little bit as Torrey was kind of crouching down on him. Take another look right here. Manley trying to protect Torrey coming in from behind. Nice job of dribbling around it. And right there, he just kind of falls right onto Manley's foot, rolls him up for just a moment.
Free kick. This will be taken by Lopez. Started his career with Chivas in the Mexican League. Also played with Chivas USA in MLS. Now 34 years old and leading things here with the Toros club. Lopez threw his hands up for a moment as he knows time is winding down. Now sends it into the area, headed straight up in the air. Melvin's going to stay back on his goal line, headed toward the net, and oh, it hits the bar and goes over. And Sanchez very nearly had his second goal of the evening.
Nice strike, just floats that ever so much. Look at Sanchez, top of his head. That's where you want to get it from. But it gets into that corner rather than down into the net. Going for the W, the USL recently announced the formation of the USL W League, providing increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer, both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across the Championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets, the W League is set to begin play in 2022 in more than 30 communities around the United States. Head over to USLWleague.com to learn more.
Going to see a substitution now. Another youngster is going to come out there for the Switchbacks. They bring off Deshane Beckford, the former Toro. Darren Yapi out there from Green Valley Ranch, Colorado. Just 16 years old. Yapi, who's a part of the Colorado Rapids Academy. Getting some action here in the late minutes. Some pressure there by the Switchbacks, and Toro's forced to clear it upfield. 86th minute, Toros trying to get some attacks here as they trail 4-2. Teams were tied at 1 at the break. And then the Switchbacks took a 2-1 lead, and the Toros able to tie it back up just a moment later, 2-2. But then 2 more goals scored just 4 minutes apart by the Switchbacks, and they've got the 2-goal lead right now. Here's Melvin. He's going to send this one over toward the sideline. It's headed forward there by Torre, but goes out. It'll be a Toros throw-in. Both teams have a lot of shots here. 16 by the Toros tonight and 13 by Colorado Springs.
You see right here, little mix-up with Pimentel and Yapi. Referee had to take a moment to tell both of them, hey, cut it out.
Manley will send it forward for Sanchez. Kicked away from him. Good play there by Torres. Finds Lewis. Lewis tries the through ball here. Miller having to come way out and is able to clear that one free. They were sending Galena there charging after it. And Miller did a beautiful read on that to prevent any kind of shot. Switchback still on the attack here despite the 2-goal lead. There's Lopez. Nice one touch by Jay. Jay will streak downfield. They'll send a return pass toward him. It is kicked away by Edwards for Colorado Springs. And now they have possession again. See if they become a little more conservative on their possession as Burt sends it downfield. Trying to get it to Galena, who's trying to get past Albuquerque. Albuquerque, a nice sliding tackle there, and the Toros come right back. Time very much a factor now here at H-E-B Park. 2-goal lead for the Switchbacks. We're in the 88th minute. This will be a throw-in for Colorado Springs.
You see Vicente Sanchez puts his hands up in not so silent protest over to the referee as he got pretty physically manhandled right there on the sideline. He's trying to say, I have a right to touch the ball, right? I don't have to get plowed over.
Has been a physical game. We've seen several bookings and both teams with double-digit fouls. That played out by Colorado Springs. Toros with a quick throw in. Get it to Lopez. He'll look to cross it. It's going to send it in. But nobody there at the back post. Jay able to play it to Veta now. Now a return to Jay. We'll see if he can cross it. He'll instead fire it over to Sorto at the top of the box. Sorto against two markers. Will lob it in. Over Sanchez's head, though, and then cleared out by Torres for Colorado Springs. Barry has 2 goals tonight. It's going to send another through ball intended for Galena. Here's Lewis with it. Lewis on the move. And he's going to send it into Torre, over Miller, and into the net for the goal. Superb passing by Colorado Springs. It's been a clinic by them tonight, and they've got goal number 5.
You want to talk about just the ability to work in open field with your passing. This is a clinic. Look at this, Lewis. Nice job. Forces the defense to come over and collapse on him, and what does he do? Just that gentle little touch to Yapi, and Yapi sends that one home. Quick substitution now for Colorado Springs. Out will be Andre Lewis. He's going to be replaced by Steven Echeverria. Echeverria, the 5'8", 146-pound midfielder out of Slate Hill, New York. Comes in with 1 assist on the season. Taking a look right here, Lewis, just a beautiful job of forcing the defense to collapse on him because he's the one driving forward. 1 touch to Yapi, and Yapi sends that one home. 5 goals for the Switchbacks. They have been all offense all evening.
Yapi, his first goal of the season, as we said, just 16 years old. Showing a lot of promise as he was signed in the Colorado Rapids Academy. Showing that promise there with his first goal for the Switchbacks. Now we've got 5 minutes of added time. And a 3-goal deficit here for the Toros. First time all year they've given up as many as even 4 goals, and they've given up 5 here tonight. There's Sanchez with a steal and a shot. A quick save by Melvin.
And Melvin read that really well. Sanchez, though, spectacular job of jumping in that passing lane. The defense had not gotten back to really have anybody in a position to pressure him, so he goes one-on-one with Melvin. Puts that in a really nice spot, but read even better by Melvin.
Yeah, Melvin kind of made up for his mistake there as the pass squirted to Sanchez, and Sanchez a quick fire. That was low. Melvin had to be ready for that save. Sanchez will take the corner. It's immediately headed out, and this will be another corner kick for the Toros. I think that was the newcomer. That was Echeverria, who had just come onto the pitch, who made that header. So it's another corner kick here by Sanchez. Gets this one over, and this one will be kicked out for another corner here for the Toros. Sanchez will try it again. Of course, time is a-wasting here. We're in the 2nd minute of stoppage time. Sanchez quickly puts this in play. Punched out by Melvin. Toros Sorto will play it back into the area. Manley there, chested down, but unable to put it on frame. Manley did a great job to chest that one down, but unable to get his foot turned to the proper angle to get that one on net.
I think if you're the Toros, you're pretty happy with the effort here of the last couple of minutes. You're still continuing to push, still continuing to strike. You just haven't really had a strong answer for what has been a very technically sound attack in the second half here by the Switchbacks. Remember, we were knotted at 1-1 at halftime. This is for second half goals for Colorado Springs.
They've outscored the Toros 4-1 here in half number 2. Sanchez with control here. We're in the 3rd minute of stoppage. Goes around to the left side before it's kicked away by the defense, but a foul here. And it's going to be a free kick for the Toros. Jay quickly wanting to set this ball and get it in play here for the Toros. And now the referee calling Jay over. Kind of giving him a verbal warning. He's not going to get the card out, but well, now he is. So Jay apparently said something.
I think Jay talked his way into a yellow card there, as he was just going to get a firm scolding prior to that, but whatever was verbally communicated between them, he ends up picking up a yellow.
It'll be just his 2nd on the year. That's 6 bookings for the Toros here this evening. They came in 7th in the league in terms of bookings. They now have 49 on the season. Moves them well up the charts. I think they're tied with Colorado Springs right now for 3rd in the league. So it looks like Sanchez will take this free kick. They'll send this into the area, screamer, and it's going to go over the bar. So he tried to give Melvin a test, but unable to put it on frame. And this will be a goal kick here for the visitors. Sanchez with a pretty good game tonight, has scored his 2nd goal of the season. Has had a couple of other good chances. I think on this one he may have been hoping for to see if Melvin could give up some kind of rebound, with a lot of players crashing the net there. Last minute of stoppage time. We've seen 3 unanswered goals by the Switchbacks after it was tied at 2. This ball played back to Miller in the Toros net. Let's see if the Toros can get at least one more opportunity here to attack the Switchbacks goal. Cerritos with some moves there against 2 markers. Has his pass stolen away by Mahoney. Now Barry, who has 2 goals tonight, pass it up to one of his teammates. It gets into the feet of Yapi, who scored that 5th goal for them. And Yapi has won himself a free kick. Teams have combined for 27 fouls here tonight, 14 for Colorado Springs and 13 for the Toros. And there's the whistle. So before they even do the free kick, we are at final, and Colorado Springs has won it by a score of 5-2. And Brian, who's our man of the match here tonight?
I mean, look no further than USL leading scorer Hajj Berry. 2 more goals in this one as he continues to be the engine that just powers a very, very potent offense here for Colorado Springs. And he was the type of player not only that scored twice for them, but I think he required a lot of attention from the Toros defensively, and that opened up some really nice opportunities for his teammates here in the 2nd half as they continue to apply pressure and pick up what could be a signature win at the midpoint of the season.
Barry, who was a number 13 overall pick in the 2016 MLS Super Draft out of Orlando City, showing every bit why he is the top player in the USL so far this season with 2 goals tonight, 18 now on the year to lead the league by a mile in the goal scoring category. We've got some highlights and some stats coming up and a final look at who the teams play next. All that coming up in just a moment. This is USL Championship Soccer on ESPN+.
Why choose Lone Star National Bank for your business? Because no other bank does more to support local businesses. In fact, we are the #1 lender in the Valley to small businesses. We put money to work here in our community.
That helps our local businesses grow.
Creating more jobs.
And more opportunities for all of us.
working together.
Together.
We do what the little banks can't and the big banks won't. Lone Star National Bank, the Valley's bank.
DHR Health is now safer than ever and continues to remain focused on one thing: providing exceptional care to our patients and community. No other hospital is trying harder to keep you safe. We're taking every action to ensure your safety with enhanced precautions, including 3 off-site COVID-19 units. Your health should never wait. Don't delay your health care. There is no reason to. Schedule your appointment today. DHR Health. For you, for life.
And we're back here at HEB Park. Final score, Colorado Springs 5, Rio Grande Valley 2. It was 1-1 at the break. Colorado Springs with 4 second-half goals to 1 for the Toros, and they win it here tonight and overtake Rio Grande Valley for second place. Let's take a look at the highlights.
And see how this game came to be. Nice move here, Christian Sorto. Little touch and go with Juan Carlos Azocar. That was the first goal for the Toros there in the first half. Coming back the other way, take a look at Colorado Springs, just picking them apart. Quick rebound, Ajay Berry strikes. That was the first goal for the Switchbacks there in the first half. Moving now on to the second half. Big, beautiful sweeping kick there for the Switchbacks. Nice quick touch here. One head, one touch, right off the foot of Vicente Sanchez. And that brings that one all the way in. That tied this one up at 2-2, and Sanchez says, look at my ability to flip. Now, late in the second half, look at this kick. That's what put this Switchbacks team up 3-2. And then once again, through contact, nice move, Ajay Berry strikes for the second time. That puts them up 4-2. Here's your final goal, and this is a textbook team goal. Lewis passes off to Yapi. Yapi finishes it off. 5 goals here for the Switchback as they pick up a huge victory in what looks like is going to shake up the Mountain Division standings.
Yeah, they move up to second place in the division. The Toros, who were once in first place at the start of the year, have now slipped to third with their second loss in a row. They're third in the last 4 games. Let's take a look at the final match stats and what jumps out here to you, Brian.
You see, in the second half, the Toros made a move on time of possession, started to dig into what was a major gap through the first half. But what really leveled off and I think led to the Switchback kind of breakthrough, look at the shots. 15 total shots by the Switchbacks. I believe they only had 8 in the first half, so continuing to shoot, and that led to some really nice goals. They have the advantage in shots on target, 8-7. You saw in goals, 5-2. Continued to do a nice job of being aggressive without picking up cards. 4 cards against the Toros, only 2 against Colorado Springs in what was, as I was mentioning close to the end of regulation, arguably a noteworthy and signature win at the midpoint of the season.
Yeah, and the Toros had 12 shots at the break, only 6 in the second half, although they did pick up a second half goal from Sanchez. Other goal scorers tonight for Colorado Springs, we mentioned Barry's 2 goals, and Yapi, Among, and Galena also getting their names on the score sheet here tonight as the Switchbacks play probably their most impressive game of the season. It's their first 5-goal game of the year, and we had mentioned that 7 previous times they'd scored at least 3. They're a team that can really put some numbers up, and it happened here to the Toros tonight, especially in that second half where they surrendered 4 goals into the back of their net. And so next games for these 2 clubs, for Colorado Springs, they'll have their 3rd straight road game. It'll be at Charlotte next Saturday. Then they return home in 2 Saturdays on the 28th to take on Austin Bold at Widener Field. And for the Toros, they go on a 3-game road trip. We'll talk about more of that in just a moment. We'll just talk about it right now as they go to Austin, El Paso, and Oklahoma City. And then their next home game is not till next month. That'll be on Saturday, the 4th of September against Loudoun United out of Virginia. So, Brian, enjoyed it here tonight. Enjoyed watching this game with you. 7-goal thriller won by the Switchbacks. We hope you enjoyed it too. And for Brian Smith, I'm Mark May. And for the rest of our USL broadcast crew, good night from HEB Park in Edinburgh, Texas.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League Championship cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League Championship.